It started with care, not cruelty. Our love story began online, late-night messages, video calls, and dreams of a future together. He was attentive, remembering the little things and making me feel seen. The distance made our bond feel stronger, our communication deeper. We shared secrets, hopes, and fears. We planned a life, a house, children, and the joy of finally sharing a bed. He became woven into my daily routine, a constant presence. But the shift from romance to control was so gradual, I barely noticed. His care became directive, his suggestions became rules. The story of our love was no longer ours. I was just a character, and he was holding the pen. What began as comfort slowly became confinement, and I started to wonder if I'd ever find myself again. The digital love story that once felt like freedom had quietly become a cage. His attentiveness was intoxicating at first. Every morning, I'd wake up to a thoughtful message, a gentle reminder to take care of myself. He cared about my health, sending articles and reminders to sleep and eat well, always checking in on my habits. We got fitness trackers to motivate each other, a fun, shared project, or so I thought. It felt like a new adventure. The watch felt like a promise, connecting us in real time, a symbol of our bond. He praised my healthy habits, and I craved his approval, feeling proud when he noticed my efforts. Soon, I was changing my routines to please him, not myself, letting his preferences shape my days. The line between care and control blurred, and I didn't notice at first. His concern became a test of my compliance, and I felt anxious to meet his expectations. I didn't see the trap. His sweetness was the sugar coating on a bitter pill. I was swallowing his authority, mistaking it for love, and my autonomy was quietly slipping away. By the time I realized, I was already losing myself. His suggestions hardened into rules, and suddenly my choices shrank. Bedtime became mandatory. He'd message if I was online late, questioning my every move. Concern turned to accusation. Why are you still awake? Who are you talking to? He demanded proof, video calls to watch me get into bed, to make sure I was alone. Missing a call meant arguments, suspicion, and endless explanations. The fitness tracker became his surveillance tool, tracking my every movement at night. Mornings started with him analyzing my sleep data, not affection or warmth. I felt like a patient under scrutiny, my rest policed, my privacy gone. My own bed became a stage for his approval, not a place of comfort. I grew anxious, performing for his gaze, never able to relax. I tried to trick the tracker, desperate for peace, desperate for a moment alone. The trust was gone, replaced by suspicion and control, and every night felt colder. I was trapped, utterly alone, longing for freedom and warmth. The smartwatch became a digital leash always tight around my wrist, a constant reminder that I was never truly alone. It reported my every move, every heartbeat, every restless night to him, feeding his need to know, to control. He cross-referenced my sleep data with my messages, searching for betrayal in the numbers, in the patterns. My routines were dictated, bedtime, walks, even herbal tea, each moment scheduled, monitored, and approved. I had to send proof, photos, screenshots, evidence of compliance, as if I were on trial every day. Any deviation brought cold silence or guilt-laden lectures, the air thick with suspicion. The watch was relentless, always on, always watching, never letting me forget. Sometimes I'd take it off for a moment's freedom, just to breathe, to remember who I was. But gaps in the data led to accusations and fights, trust eroding with every missing minute. The device meant to connect us became a shackle, heavy and cold. My life was no longer my own. I was monitored, measured, and managed, trapped by love's technology. His control spread to every part of my life, slowly tightening until I barely recognized my own routine. Meals were monitored. I sent photos, endured critiques, and even my food choices became a source of anxiety. My daily schedule was dictated, every minute accounted for, spontaneity replaced by rigid plans. Friends faded away, invitations declined, my world growing smaller with each passing day. He made me feel guilty for wanting a life outside of him, for even thinking of my own needs. Instant replies were demanded, any delay sparked interrogation, my phone a constant source of dread. My own desires and thoughts were replaced by his, my preferences erased, my voice drowned out. I was isolated, imprisoned by technology, my world shrank until it contained only him. He ruled with guilt, isolation, and emotional punishment. Every day felt like walking on eggshells, never knowing what would set him off or what new rule I'd unknowingly break. Any boundary I set became an attack on his love. He twisted my words, making me question my own intentions and sanity. He'd pick fights before I saw friends, making me too exhausted to go. Slowly, my world shrank until he was the center of it. He spoke poorly of my loved ones, ensuring his was the only voice I heard. I started to doubt everyone except him. If I broke a rule, he'd withdraw affection, silent treatment, days of coldness. I felt invisible, desperate for any sign of warmth. I'd apologize, desperate for his approval, promising to be better, hoping to end the loneliness. This cycle of coercive control was psychological warfare, eroding my confidence and sense of self. He broke my spirit, convincing me his control was love, until I could barely recognize myself. In today's world, digital red flags can be subtle but incredibly dangerous, often hiding behind the guise of care or concern. If someone is constantly monitoring your social media, demanding instant replies, or questioning who you interact with online, these are signs of control, not love. Pressure to share passwords, enable location sharing, or allow access to your private messages is a violation of your boundaries and privacy. Technology should bring people closer, not be used as a tool for surveillance or policing. If setting digital boundaries leads to anger, guilt-tripping, or accusations, that's a major warning sign. Healthy love respects your space, both online and offline. Anyone who tries to erase your privacy is seeking power, not partnership. Remember, your autonomy and digital freedom are not up for debate. Technology itself is neutral. Its true impact depends on the intentions of those who use it. In loving hands, it connects us. In controlling hands, it confines and isolates. Instant communication can become a 24/7 demand for attention and compliance. Read receipts and online status are turned into tools of interrogation and pressure. Fitness trackers and location services become blueprints for monitoring and control. Surveillance is disguised as care, making it difficult to recognize as abuse. We normalize sharing data in the name of love, but it can be weaponized against us. The danger is how invisible and subtle this control can be. It hides behind concern, health, and the illusion of digital togetherness. We must learn to see past the disguise and recognize when care becomes control. Freedom starts with recognizing your right to privacy and autonomy. Love should never feel like a prison. Reclaim your space. Turn off location sharing. Disable read receipts. Your privacy is yours. You owe no explanation. If this sparks anger, it shows the control was never about love. Reach out to friends, family, or professionals. Abuse organizations can help you plan and stay safe. Rediscover what brings you joy. On your terms. Step by step, you'll reclaim your life and your light. No one can extinguish it. You are not alone.